Did the Highland chieftain arrive?
It went to Fremantle first.
Oh yes, yeah.
And we had we had leave overnight, I think, and I had the manager of Dunlop Rubber in Perth. His daughter, I think it was, came on board looking for a car salter. And Bill Salter, his elder brother, was my boss when I was employed in Queensland Trustees before the war.
Yes.
And so I knew Carr pretty well,
Yeah.
and he was in our unit. And when we found him, he said that I went with him ashore, and I was entertained by I forget his name now, but he was the Perth manager of Dunlop Rubber.
Yes, yeah.
And he came to Brisbane subsequently too. I remember meeting him again in Brisbane. Yeah.
And then how did you get back to Brisbane?
And then we sailed from there to Melbourne.
Yes.
And all the Victorians were unloaded, and we had another day, or
stopover.
The bulk of a day ashore. That was where I was entertained by a cousin of mine, Audrey Herring, who became the head sarong of the WAPs.
Yes.
She took out, I can't think of her name now, right at the end of the war though, but she only came in at the tail end. And she's the one who married the Perth, what do you call him, I can't think of the word, and that's terrible, you know. The ones that gives you anaesthetist.
Yes.
John Craig.
Yes.
See, we've told you about John Craig.
We certainly have, yes.
And Audrey, I knew Audrey very well, because when I was working in Brisbane, you see, I used to be out at the Herrings quite often.
Yes.
On Sunday night tea and this sort of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
But that was Melbourne, and I didn't meet Ned, but I'd met his mother.
Yes.
And he was down at Geelong. So he was a man that was asked to speak at the Geelong Grammar and Geelong College too, and Melbourne Grammar.
Yes.
And he was well known in those circles, but of course he was a Chief Justice by then.
Yes.
When you read volume 5 of the Australian Official War History, there's just one line that Sir Edmund, he was Lieutenant General Herring, became Chief Justice.
Yes.
Yeah, well now that was wangled by Jolly Blamey with his mate John Curtin.
Yes. Well, Curtin was dead.
Yeah, and there was great, Blamey was very jealous of him, frightened that he might take over. Yeah. And he should have, of course, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I am biased, I will admit that.
Oh, well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel that, and these days when I talk about Herring, they say, oh, well, he was only a civilian soldier.
Yes.
And the civilian soldiers are actually the ones that had the brains.
Yes, they were.
Don't turn ones are not quite as adaptable, are they?
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, you know that.
Yeah. Now, what date were you discharged?
Date discharge was in January 1946, I think. As a result of still being in the army in 1946, I got that 5th medal.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I got it. But I was not discharged, I can't remember when, I should toward the end of January 1946.
Yeah. And when did you meet Joan?
I would have known her elder sisters probably pre-war. See, I was living in Brisbane from, when would it be? I would say I had a job in the Queensland Trustees in Brisbane from about 37 or 38 onwards. And then I went back to them after the war, and we were in a social set in Kangaroo Point,
Yes.
pre-war, and which we went back to After the war, yes, we were well known pre-war.
Yes.
Well, everybody knew one another,
Yeah.
because some of the brothers didn't come back and this sort of thing, and you knew the sisters quite well. Yeah, we had one on the Manura who didn't come back. Andrew was an armed merchantman. And myself, of Queensland Trustees, there was that Freddie, I can't remember his name now, Fred, I can't recall it, but he was being trained to take over as manager. And then there were 3 in our unit that was there. There was a sergeant and 2 gunners and me. There were 6 of us all together with Freddie, what's his name, who was infantry, nothing to do with 2nd 10. And I was the only one who came home.
Yes, yeah. Well, Maurice, I think we've just about wrapped it.
That's it. Oh my God, it's got to 4.
Thank you very, very much. I do appreciate it. And also the hospitality which you and Joan extended
yesterday. Oh yes,
yesterday.
it was good, and we should have taken some photos
I know.
yesterday too. Yeah.